Hi everyone. So there's something I wanted to share with everyone real quick, and I figured making a video would be the most effective way to get this information across. So the other day in my humanities class, my professor walked in and he informed us that a kid in our class had died in a car accident this weekend. And he began to tell us, you guys are only 19, 20. You guys are so young. You guys don't understand how precious life is and how much of life you guys still have to live. And you guys don't quite understand that someday you might wake up and one of your family members might be gone, or you might be the family member that's gone. Life isn't promised to anyone, regardless of your age, regardless of who you are. Tomorrow isn't promised to you. And he was like, I want you guys to pull out a piece of paper because I have a thought experiment for you guys. And this is something I want you guys to also do after you watch this video. He said, I want you to imagine that you were just in a car accident and you are trapped under the car and you know you are not going to get out. And you see flames slowly creeping towards your gas tank, and you only get 2 minutes left to live. Fortunately, your cell phone is in your hand and you get to call one person. Who would you call, and what would you tell them? And it was so emotional writing that down. It was so emotional thinking of the last words I would say to someone. And he was like, I'll share with you guys what I wrote down. I would call my wife and I would tell her I love her and I would thank her for all the years we had together and that they were fun. And the kid next to me said I would call my grandmother and I would tell her that I will always be her sunshine, because she used to sing me that song when I was a kid. And I raised my hand and I said I would call my dad and I would thank him for the wonderful life he has created me out of nothing, and I would thank him for always being there for me, especially when my mom could not, because she passed when I was 11. And he turned to me and he said, I need you to go home and I need you to tell your dad that. And he turned to the guy next to me and he said, I need you to go home and I need you to call your grandmother and I need you to tell her that, because your grandmother isn't going to be around forever, and because I'm not promised to see my dad tomorrow. And he looked at everyone and he said, for your homework, I want you to go home and call or walk up to whoever you wrote on that piece of paper and tell them what you would say. Because if that is something you would say to someone in the last 2 minutes of your life, then why haven't you said that to them already? And hearing that hit me like a bus, because, unfortunately the boy didn't get to call his parents during the accident and tell them how much he loved them. And he probably didn't think to tell them that before he left. And it's something very heavy-hearted and something very true, though. That if that is something that you would say to someone right before you die, then that is something they need to hear now. So I went home and I explained to my dad my humanities class, and I told him exactly what I wrote on the piece of paper, and he kind of started to cry and I started to cry, and he told me he loved me and he gave me a hug and I told him I loved him too. I can't thank my professor enough for doing this activity, so I could go home and I can tell my dad how much I love him, and I can walk through my days now and, tell my parents how much I love them every single day, because I'm not promised that I'm going to see them tomorrow. And I think you, as a viewer, after you watch this video, need to call your parents or call your grandparents or call your significant other or walk up to them and tell them exactly what you would say to them in the last 2 minutes of your life. And to everyone else, I hope this makes an impact on your life, and I hope you can take this information, and I hope you can go and make an impact on someone else's life. And shout out to Dr. Bass, because you are honestly one hell of a professor, and I think you changed my life, and I hope now what you did can change other people's lives. So thank you guys for taking time to watch, and if you guys think this was worth it, and if you guys think that this was something everyone needs to hear, go ahead and give this video a share, because if it impacted your life, then odds are it's going to impact someone else's too, and it's just going to create a chain reaction. And more people in the world are going to be told how important they are on this planet, and how much they are needed, and how much they are loved. And I think that could be a really awesome thing. So thank you for taking time to watch.